Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show uh, two new features in Catia. One of them is shaft tool and another one is the groove tool. So we have covered the uh, sketching option and the pad tool and the pocket tool in the previous videos. So in this one, let's learn two new features of Catia. So let's get to Catia part design. So I'm going to open file, new, part design, P part, click OK. So alright, so now I am in the part design window. So on the right side, as you can see, sketch, pad, pocket. So below pocket you can see a tool called shaft. So we're going to use the shaft tool to create a part. So shaft tool is usually used to create parts such as a cylinder, uh, so, parts which are actually symmetric with respect to an axis. So let's see how to use the shaft tool to create a cylinder. So use the sketch tool and select a plane. We have to create the sketch in order to create the cylinder. So I'm going to create a rectangle using the rectangle tool. Select the rectangle and I'm going to dimension it like this, and let's give the length of the cylinder to be 100 and the radius of the cylinder be 30. So uh, by creating this rectangle, I'm going to create a cylinder with radius 30 and length 100. So once you constrain the sketch completely, we can go ahead and exit the workbench. Exit workbench. And now use the shaft tool to create the cylinder. So just go ahead and click on shaft tool. So here you can see different options to choose from. So here we need to show a profile to shaft. So we have to select the sketch that we have created. Select the sketch, and you need to select a axis here. So based on this axis, the shaft tool will sweep the sketch that we have created based on that axis. So that's how we are going to get the cylinder. So I'm choosing the axis, this side as the axis. Either I can choose that side, or I can also select the uh, axis, vertical axis. So for now I'm going to select the edge here. Select the edge, and if I click on preview, I can see the cylinder is created. So what happens here is you can see that the first limit given is 360 degree. So the shaft tool just sweep this sketch through the through an angle of 360 degree with the edge as the axis, vertical, one of the vertical edge as the axis. So if I change the angle, you can see that. Let's give the angle to be 180. Preview. You can see that it sweeps only through an angle of 180 degree. So also we can also change, enter a second angle, 30. So it will also create an adds material in the opposite direction at 30 degree. If you click on preview, you can see material is added in the reverse direction. So that's how the shaft tool works. So if we give 360, we'll get the complete cylinder. So once you are okay with this, we can go ahead and click OK. that's the use of shaft tool. So let's use the shaft tool to create something more interesting. For example, to create the pawn of of a pawn in chess. So let's try to create that using the shaft tool. So I'm going to delete this one and just click on sketch, go to uh, go to sketch and select a plane. So I'm going to create the sketch of the uh, pawn in chess. So we can use make use of all the tools on the right side in your sketch window to create that. So let's create the top of the pawn using the circle tool, and I'm going to use the profile tool to create the rest of the body. So here I need only half of this circle to use the shaft tool. So I'm going to use the trim option to trim this part at exactly at uh, half of this circle. So before that I need to create this line just that passes through the circle so that I can uh, make use of that line to trim that part of the circle. So here, open this sketch here, open the trim tool, just click on the arrow next to it and click on quick trim, and we can trim this option, trim this circle on the right side. So after that I can delete the line I have created there, and also uh, I can trim the other part of the circle. Yep, that can be deleted. So uh, if you want, you can keep this line here to use the shaft tool, or you can just delete this line as well. And we can use the axis tool here to the vertical axis here to select the reference axis for the shafting shafting feature. So once you're done, if you want, you can constrain if you are confident uh, about the dimensions of the pawn. So here I don't have any dimensions, so I'm just going to give random dimensions. I just need this shape. So it is constrained, and I'm not going to change make any changes to the dimensions. So once it is constrained, I can exit the workbench and I can go ahead and use the shaft tool. Select the shaft tool and select the profile and select the axis. So the axis should be the vertical axis here. Select the vertical axis, click on preview. You get a shape like this. Once you're done, you can click OK. So if you want, we can add a little more details to the pawn. So before that, let's see uh, how to use the groove tool in this. So you can see the groove tool right below the shaft tool. So this is the groove tool here on the right side. So again, we need another sketch to use the groove tool. It's just like the shaft tool, but instead of adding material, it will remove material. So I just want to create a groove at the base of the pawn. So I'm going to create a sketch. So use the sketch tool. Select the sketch. Select a plane that is in the center here. So I'm going to select the YZ plane here, and I need a groove in the shape of a circle, semicircle. So I'm using that here. So let the diameter be 5.75. Distance from the center is this. So I have constrained it. Exit the workbench. So now I have create. If you look at this circle, the circle is right on the surface of that base. So now if you use the groove tool, select the groove tool and select the sketch, and just like we selected the axis for the shaft, select an axis for the groove. We can select the vertical axis and select preview, click OK. You can see that a groove is created right below the uh, uh, right at the base of the pawn. So these are the use of a shaft tool and a groove tool. So if you want to add a little more details to this, like adding material, you can use an option here below, apply material. So this option, if you click on it, you can find a lot of default materials are available in Catia. If you go to I'm going to add a material here. You can see construction, fabrics, metal, other, painting, shape preview, stone, wood. So I'm going to add a material, add a wood material. Let this be teak, India teak. Add material. So just click and drag it and drop it on the part, so that material will be applied, or you can select the material and click on apply material. That will also work. So once you're done, click on OK, and if you select if you want to get a 3D screenshot of this, we can use the Photo Studio Easy Tools right at the bottom of the screen. On the bottom toolbar, select that, and we can change the background, and you can also customize the background of this screenshot. So I'm not going to get into the details of that for now. If you just click on render over here, you get a good 3D screenshot of that part that you have created. Yep. And if you want to save this image, you can save it here by clicking save image. Yep, that's it. So uh, that's it for today's lecture. So hope you guys practice these two new features, and also how to create the material. And also one more thing, so here you can see an option shading with material. So if you don't activate this, you won't be able to see the material that you have added. So if I select any of these other options, let's say shading with edges, you'll be seeing something like this instead of the material color. So make sure this one is active, shading with material. Yep, that's it. That's it for today's lecture. So see you in the next video. Thank you.